Are we alone in the universe? Are there other civilizations out in the universe that could be like us? Did they come to visit us? Are they trying to visit us? Is there a God? These are all the questions that haunted me all my life. Ever since I was very young, I remember curiosity about how things worked. And I was always asking questions, and I didn't always get the answers that I wanted. I want to know everything. I have to know everything. That's kind of the way I'm put together. In 1947, in Roswell, New Mexico, an incredible UFO incident took place. There was a crash. The Air Force went in and said that they'd had something that was from extraterrestrial origins, and the word UFO came into our language. Extraterrestrials were something that we thought about, but now we had an incident to talk about. Probably the most interesting teacher I've ever had was Richard Feynman, and he was the Einstein of my generation. And I said, Dr. Feynman, do you believe in UFOs? He said, Clarfeld, I believe in the law of probability. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, has over 200 billion stars just like ours, and the universe has over 400 billion galaxies. The law of probability tells me that of all those stars, there are 10,000 solar systems just like ours. If any of them survive their space age, they could have come to visit us. Yes, I believe in UFOs. This piqued my curiosity, particularly because I had been a student of the Bible before I got to Caltech, and I started to see things that were in the Bible that I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand how 5,000 years ago the knowledge that the Bible presented was so scientifically correct. My interest has been directing me towards what I think is what everybody needs to know. Where did we come from? What happened to us before the Bible? I was fascinated by a brilliant author named Zecharia Sitchin. I felt within the story that Sitchin was writing were the answers that I was looking for. Sitchin was a biblical scholar. He taught himself how to translate cuneiform, the first written language on our planet. The cuneiform tablets were discovered in the 1830s in the sands of Iraq. These are pre-biblical stories that were written by the Sumerian civilization. The stories in the cuneiform tablets are that the Annunaki, the space-age civilization, came to this planet 450,000 years ago for the sole purpose of mining gold. Because of their atomic wars, according to the cuneiform stories, they needed the gold to seed the ozone leak in the atmosphere of their planet. The gold was then flaked into powder and put up into the atmosphere to reflect the sun and save their atmosphere and thus save their civilization. They didn't have much gold on their planet, and for 200,000 years mined our gold for the survival of their planet. According to the cuneiform tablet stories, there was a genetic engineering experiment done by the Annunaki with a species that was here on the planet before us called Homo erectus. We actually were jump-started. They did a process that created our species as a primitive worker. To mine gold, for 1,800,000 years, Homo erectus populated all the land surfaces of this planet. The most advanced they got to were spears and stone tools. If Homo erectus was a predecessor to Homo sapien, there should be skeletal remains. Homo erectus evolved into Homo sapiens, and there are no skeletal remains. Our species arrives in Southeast Africa 200,000 years ago, and in 1969 we're walking on the moon. That does not happen in evolution. The easiest way for an advanced civilization to collect our gold was, rather than digging it out and processing it, was to take placer water, which was stripping the gold out of the veins and bringing it down the river and collecting it by separating it. And it dawned on me that many of the monuments that were built were step pyramids, which looked to me like washboards. In a very short period of time, I discovered that there was placer water in those areas and that these are all potential washboard gold mining icons that were built in difficult places with advanced engineering skills. There are people, particularly those in the scientific community, frankly called me a woo-woo. To those who don't understand, woo-woo, that's off the wall. Somebody that's kind of lost his marbles. But that doesn't bother me. Sitchin had many people who said he didn't translate it properly. Words didn't say what he said they were. My relationship with Zachariah covered a 10-year span. I consider myself a disciple. Since he's no longer with us, I feel responsibility to carry the torch. I believe he had the Rosetta Stone of our ancient civilization. I think that's why these icons were built. And I'm challenging the scientific community to prove me wrong.